Okay, so 6 o'clock, we'll go ahead and get started. We do have a quorum established. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance and the board mission statement.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor
The Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, sir.
Want me to do it?
Yeah, if you don't
All
mind,
right, no
sir.
problem. Board mission statement, through high expectations and equitable opportunity, UMISD will focus on the whole child by providing a safe environment, a high-quality curriculum with diverse and enriching experiences.
Thank you, fellas. All right, no public comment?
No, sir.
All right, so we'll get into our one and only action item here is canvass bond election results. Consideration and approval of an order canvassing the returns and declaring the results of the May 2nd, 2026 bond election. All right. Agenda language to post 72 hours before the meeting, consideration and approval of an order canvassing the returns and declaring the results of May 2nd, 2026 bond election. Am I supposed to read that part or no?
You can go ahead and go into.
To the introduction?
You can go into
Whereas-
presiding officer
Oh, okay.
at this
Okay.
time.
Okay, this time, so the presiding, okay. At this time, under authority of Texas Election Code, we will canvass the results of the May 2nd, 2026 bond election for Tolosa Midway Independent School District. In order canvassing the returns and declaring the results of a bond election and other matters in connection therewith. Whereas the Board of Trustees, the Board of Tolosa Midway Independent School District, the district ordered an election to be held on May 2nd, 2026. The election for the purpose of determining whether the qualified voters of the district would authorize the district's issuance of general obligation bonds, and whereas the board has reviewed and investigated all matters pertaining to the election, including the ordering, notices, election officers, holding, and returns thereof, and whereas the board has diligently inquired into the poll list and the official election returns that were duly and lawfully made to the board by the judges and clerks holding and conducting the election. And whereas the precinct returns are attached and incorporated for all purposes. And whereas from these returns, this board hereby finds that the following votes were cast in the election by qualified voters of the district. Proposition A. This is a property tax increase, the issuance of bonds in the amount of $136 million for school facilities, new buses, and retrofitting older buses with seatbelts, and the levy of taxes sufficient to pay the principal of and interest on the bonds. Early votes in person, for 295, against 51. Early votes by mail, absentee, for 27, against 18. Election day votes, for 148, against 41. Total, for 470, against 110. Total votes cast 580, provisional votes cast, ballots cast 0, uncounted 0. Proposition B, this is a property tax increase, the issuance of bonds in the amount of $4 million for school technology improvements and the levy of taxes sufficient to pay the principal of and interest on the bonds. Early votes in person, for 295, against 50. Early votes by mail, absentee, for 26, against 17. Election day votes, for 141, against 47. Total for votes, 462. Total against votes, 114. Undervotes, 4. Total votes cast, 580. Provisional ballots, 0. Uncounted, 0. Now, therefore it is resolved by the Board of Trustees of Tuloso Midway Independent School District that, Section 1, the board officially finds, determines, and declares that the election was properly ordered, that proper legal notice of the election was given, that proper election officers were appointed prior to the election, that the election was legally held, and that all qualified voters of the district were permitted to vote at the election, that returns of the results of the election had been made and delivered, and that the board has canvassed such returns, all in accordance with state and federal laws and the order calling the election. Section 2, a majority of qualified voters of the district voting in the election have voted for Proposition A. The board hereby finds and determines that this proposition carried at the election and that the board is hereby accordingly authorized to issue the bonds and to levy the tax in accordance with the law and the authority granted in the proposition and the corresponding measure stated in the district's election order. Section 3. A majority of the qualified voters in the district voting in the election have voted for Proposition B. The board hereby finds and determines that this proposition carried at the election and that the board is hereby accordingly authorized to issue the bonds and to levy the tax in accordance with the law and the authority granted in the proposition and the corresponding measure stated in the district's election order. Section 4, the president of the board is authorized to execute this order, and the secretary of the board is authorized to certify this order regardless of their participation in the quorum required by the election code. Section 5, the recitals contained in the preamble of this order are hereby found to be true, and such recitals are hereby made a part of this order for all purposes and are adopted as part of the judgment and findings of the board. Section 6, all orders and resolutions or parts thereof which are in conflict or inconsistent with any provision of this order are hereby repealed to the extent of such conflict, and the provisions of this order shall be and remain controlling as the matters resolved herein. Section 7, this order shall be construed and enforced in accordance with the laws of the state of Texas and the United States of America. Section 8, if any provision of this order or the application thereof to any person or circumstance shall be held to be invalid, the remainder of this order and the application of such provision to other persons and circumstances shall nevertheless be valid. And the board hereby declares that this order would have been enacted without such invalid provision. Section 9. It is officially found, determined, and declared that the meeting at which the order is adopted was open to the public, and public notice of the time, place, and subject matter of public business to be considered at such meeting, including this order, was given, all as required by Chapter 551 as amended Texas Government Code. Section 10. This order shall be in force and effect from and after its final passage, and it is so resolved. Passed, adopted, and approved on May 11, 2026, the date of canvassing meeting.
Is a motion required?
Yeah, yep, that's the next here. All right. Do I have a motion to canvass the results of the May 2nd, 2020 bond election?
Oh,
wait, hold on, I'm sorry, I
Read this.
have to read this part up here, right, Chris? I skipped one, Mr. Chapa, sorry about that. All right, vote to adopt order regarding the canvass of the election. At this time, do any of the board members present at today's canvass wish to examine any of the election returns or have any questions about the conduct of the elections for the staff?
No.
All right. Do I have a motion to canvass the results of May 2nd, 2026 bond election?
Yeah, I'll make that.
Okay.
I move that we canvass the results of the May 2nd, 2026 bond election.
Thank you, sir.
I'll second that motion.
Okay. A motion to canvass and declare the election results of the bond election has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? No, I think we're good. All those in favor of signing, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. 3 aye. Any opposed? 0. The canvass order is adopted. That's it, right? Because we're not adjourning the meeting just yet, right? We are? Okay.
You're done.
All right, so the next future meeting is May 18th. So this says here, Meeting adjourned at 6:10 PM.